What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. Today we are on the latest version 8.2. We haven't had an update in a while. I had a pretty good downtown drive so far, and now I'm heading home from work. I want to see if the car can drive me home with no interventions or minimal interventions. So one change, improvement, or just difference now with this version is you can set the speed limit to whatever you want. In the public build of autopilot on a road like this, and before in the beta, you could only go 5 over, so something like this. Well, now I can put it as high as I want, which is kind of crazy, and I don't know, I don't speed that much, but it will help a lot on this route. So I did this route once before. If you want to see the comparison, go ahead and check out that video. But when I did this route before, there were two places on the road where it was unmarked, and the car, rather than knowing it's 55, which is unmarked in Michigan, the car thought it was much slower, and so I had to use the accelerator pedal quite a bit. So I'm excited for those roads because this is pretty much going to fix that. So we have a roundabout coming up, a bunch of right and left turns that are pretty difficult. We have some highway driving. So I will be recording all of the interventions and takeovers, the disengagements, reports, things like that. And at the end of the video, I'll compare it to this last drive that will be pretty much exactly the same unless the car, that was a weird little swerve, unless the car for some reason decides to take a different route. But we'll compare it to last time and see if it has improved, which from my experience earlier today, I think it really has. So anyway, if you end up enjoying this video, please hit like and get subscribed. I would really appreciate that. But let's let the car do its thing and see how it does. So in previous builds on roundabouts, the car would stop here. Looks like it's still doing that. So I'm going to touch the accelerator just because someone's behind me. There we go. Just a little tap. And now it's slowly going through. So that's obviously wrong. It's an intervention. But as we've seen in some screenshots, some behind the scenes stuff, that's actually a setting from the autopilot team that they currently, let's go up to 55 here, that's what it really is. They currently, well, it turns 55 in a second anyway, have yield signs set to stop at them. So I'm not sure why they haven't flipped that switch yet, but hopefully that'll be coming soon, and then the car can correctly use roundabouts. So right here you can see speed limit 35 ends. You can see under the sign it says ends, and I think the car might change. Nope, it did not change to 35. But here is where the car would only let me go 40 max, and really the speed limit is 55. Most people actually go closer to 60 on this road, so now I can set that speed. I guess we should technically count that as an intervention because I have to do something to make the car drive correctly, but it's a lot better than having to use the accelerator. So we're having some little slowdowns here. You can see we're going 51. I haven't touched anything. I assume that's because of the shadows. I'm actually going to report that because there is no reason to slow down there, even though we are. So coming up on this right turn, doing a little bit of a goofy job getting behind these cars. Should have just gotten behind them. And now people coming from the left are going very fast, but there are no cars. So it says creeping, checking for visibility, and it sees that it's clear. So it continues a little slow, a little timid. Change the speed limit down to 44, which is probably about right. So this left turn here, last time I kind of messed up. We had cars coming, and there was time to make the left turn in front of the car, but I stopped the Tesla. I just wasn't comfortable at the time, and to be honest, you know, watching the video or after the fact, it's a lot easier to say, oh, come on, there's plenty of time. But in the moment, you know, I just wasn't ready to let the car make that left turn. So good left turn there. Again, a tiny bit slow, but not bad. So here's another one. This road's actually 55. It's unmarked. So we're going up to 60 for this one, whereas before I had to hit the accelerator the whole time. And now here's something even more interesting. The top speed on the beta used to be 65 at all, if you're in the beta. Well, now, I don't want to go this fast, but it goes all the way up to 90. So, okay, that person running towards our garbage can kind of scared me. But anyway, oh, don't go 28. That's my fault. Yeah, so they enabled the beta now to go up to 90, and this was not a mistake. This was intentional. I guess it's for this situation, right, where the road is incorrectly marked. They see whenever we interact with the car. So the autopilot team was probably seeing a lot of accelerator pressing. And maybe that's too much noise for them, or maybe it was annoying, or maybe they just wanted to enable this because they know we'll hopefully use it responsibly and go the speed we are comfortable going or is appropriate for that situation. So it is, I do welcome this a lot. It's really nice to have this. And hopefully that'll make it out to the public build because, you know, people have autopilot, they can use it, whatever's best for that situation. All right, so coming up to this left turn, always a difficult one even for me. Cross traffic is going very fast. It can be a little hard to see to the right, but we were clear, and now like this speed is okay. If I was driving, I would go faster than that just because cross traffic is so fast. But actually, that left turn was actually really, really nice. So car's doing a really good job with pretty much all turning I've experienced today. Going around these bends really nicely, doing a very good job here. Most of the highway will be super fast forwarded again. The highway is not really different from the public build, so a little close to that curb there, but no problem. If you could see, there's a lot of tire tracks on it. You can see people hit that thing all the time. So I've never had full self-driving hit it at all, so that's really nice. Doing better than a lot of people. And then we're speeding up really nicely here. Wow, to get onto the highway. Speed set to 77. Sometimes a little faster than that is nice, but that's just kind of my default setting. And there we are. We're on the highway. We're back to the public build visualization. If you do not have the beta, this is what you'll see. The beta is only out to, well, Elon Musk said on the earnings call, 1,000 people. So it's coming, hopefully. I know. I want everyone to get it. I've gotten some comments of people wondering, how do I get it? I don't know. Just tweet at Elon. That's my advice. You can also see it's changed the speed limit here to 60, max of 66 for my overset. I think that's because it sometimes reads those overhead signs, and I get a lot of comments, oh my gosh, you're going like 80, and the speed limit's 60. Well, first of all, you see I'm still getting passed by lots of people. Second of all, the speed limit is not 60, it's actually 70. Those are suggested speeds. Why they always say 60, I do not know. But if there's an accident or something, they can use those signs to tell you the lane is closed, or they can slow you down a little bit before you get to a traffic jam to try to ease some of the congestion. So the car wants to do a lane change to get into the faster lane. Now, it had a decent gap, but then, you know, as is typical, when you put your turn signal on, this guy sped up so that I couldn't get in. So if the car would have instantly moved over, it would have been fine, but it usually gives it, 4 or 5 clicks, which for me is a little too much for this area. But that's all right. We still made the lane change, and we're on our way. It's pretty funny. I don't know if you saw it in the camera there, but that car flashed its headlights to let me know, go ahead, get in front of me. But yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not driving, so he was letting the Tesla know to go. That'd be cool if the car could eventually respond to stuff like that. All right, and heading for the exit. Great zero intervention highway drive, pretty typical. I did absolutely nothing except have a hand on the wheel and pay attention, and the car handled it all. So you can see we're back in beta view, so let's get rid of all that for you. And first time, doing all this on this version. This is my first day with this version, and it's doing well. Sometimes it has a little bit of a hard time picking there. Most of the time it does fine, but every once in a while it'll kind of hesitate a little bit. But that was good. Now this intersection, I'll try not to talk too much so the video's not too long, but in the last video, I corrected the car to have it go to the outside lane. People were saying, no, I'm wrong. Well, I'm driving how people locally drive. Even if technically I shouldn't have done what I did, that's how everyone here drives. And if I go against that, it can cause an accident. So what I did is I actually emailed the road commission and said, hey, this intersection, this right turn, it's 2 right turn lanes. It opens up to 3 lanes, which then opens up to 4 lanes. It opens up eventually to 5 lanes. I said, it's a little confusing. People are going into all kinds of different lanes and stuff. Is there any way we could get a line painted here? And they emailed me back like within a day. And basically within 2 days, they were like, yep, we'll paint it in the spring. So we have a line coming here. It'll be interesting to see how people, handle it and how the car handles it. So this time I'll try not to intervene. But yeah, see there? Right there. See how that guy, well, he did get in that lane and moved over. Most people move to that lane, the middle lane, and on the outside lane, they move here. So even if I'm technically supposed to go to that lane, unfortunately, most people go to that lane from the inside right turn lane. And if I let the car go, I don't think it would run into anybody, but it'll cause some honking and anger. So pretty interesting here. By now, the car usually moves to the right lane, which honestly don't like because I'm making a left turn. And some people say I'm wrong. That's fine. Lately I've been letting it just go over there, and it's just weird because it makes changes to the right lane and then just changes back to the left lane to make a left turn. I've just been kind of letting it, okay. Oh, now it's doing it. Okay, so yeah, it turned on the turn signal. Maybe it was waiting for a good spot. That was actually really good. There's somebody right behind us. So that was a nice little gap for it to get into. Anyway, it moves here, and then it'll move back for our left turn. So yeah, this is fine. So now we have the left turn signal on. The car seems to just be waiting for this pickup truck to move forward a little bit. There we go, we slowed a bit, and now we should be good to get over. Our left turn is coming up, so you better do it. There we go. So moved over, and then this is pretty tricky. You turn, so not this lane, but the next lane. You got to get to the left, slow down pretty quick, and then get ready to go across some fast-moving traffic. So there we go. Nice and smooth. Slowed down a little bit while still being in that really fast lane. I mean, you can see the speed limit's 55, but people regularly will go 70 on that road, which I don't like to do that, but that's what people do. Now we need to move up here. Okay, don't go to the right. Okay, I guess that's a good spot. It's gonna inch up. I might have to stop it. Let's see. Yeah, way too close to that pickup truck. See, now in that case, was it gonna, it obviously sees it. So was it just gonna drive into it? I mean, you can see even the ultrasonic sensor here, that's what this little, whoa, hello. This little line here is the ultrasonic sensor. So was it just gonna drive into that pickup truck? I don't know. But it seemed like it, so I stopped it. Okay, so now we have a stop sign here, and the car was gonna go, which is not really the right move. So, okay, now you can go. So, wow, that was 2 disengagements, I think, right there. So that's a really complicated spot, and, it's gonna be a while before the car can handle that, I think, because pretty much every time I get to that stop sign, it tells me, it says, let me know when to go. Hit the gear stalk and tell me it's okay to go. And I do that, but the car never seems to be able to do that on its own without me first saying, hey, it's good to go. So hopefully that'll be, there eventually, but it's just not there yet. So pretty hard brake there, waited just a little too long. Oh, okay, so there's somebody stopped in the road, so the person can't turn left. The car almost drove around them. Dang, that would have been good. But it didn't, darn. So yeah, a little bit of a hard stop there, but it seemed like the car, expected them to turn like I would, and then they stopped. So I actually probably would have done the same thing there. And then this right turn, doing a pretty good job. Could have turned the turn signal on a bit earlier. It actually was very early, but the car started to brake before the turn signal was on. So that's the only thing. Do have a person right here. Hopefully we will not scare them. And nope, they were seen, but they stayed out of the road. And now we're onto the dirt and almost done. So moving over for that truck, very good. Earlier than it used to do. That's awesome. Love that. This is the spot of the infamous deer crossing. Been seeing them a lot still. Might get some today. Would be nice. So pretty interesting. You can see here, even though I have the speed set to 30, the car is going slower than that. And, of course, sometimes it does that on accident or by mistake, which is not good. But a lot of times it will slow down. So move over for this guy, please. Okay, or not. That's weird. He didn't like that. I don't know why it would. Usually it's really good at that. So it'll slow down for situations it's not sure of. And, maybe that's why it didn't get over. It wasn't so sure about what it was doing. But it's going below the set speed because it wants to be safe. And it kind of failed at that. But it's okay. We corrected it. Okay, so now I got another car coming up here. This is really tight, so I turn the speed down. And It's just not moving over far enough for these people. Yeah, that's annoying because that's actually been pretty good. My only complaint about it is it's happened a little late, but it's always been good. It's always moved over enough. And now in this build, it's not really. So stopping at that stop sign, a little late, but I mean, you can't really see unless you move out more, and then pretty nice right turn. So overall, pretty decent drive, a bit annoying there at the end with a few interventions, but beyond that, it did a pretty good job until we got to the dirt. And like this morning on the dirt, it was doing really well, like just kind of keeping in a nice spot and going around the couple people I had to interact with. Normally there's not a lot of cars back here, but yeah, those last two were just not very good. It didn't want to move over enough for them. So I'm sure the stats are up on the screen compared to the last drive. Hopefully, I feel like it was definitely better, but we will see. You know, I'm usually pretty optimistic, so sometimes I feel like it's better, even if it's technically not better. So overall, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and you will see Full Self-Driving Beta in the next video.
So Autopilot and I are happily driving along.